What's up, everyone? Welcome to the NBA Pick and Pod. My name is Dawson Shine, and I'm your host. So today, we're kicking it off talking about a couple of deals that went down yesterday that actually mean something to the NBA landscape. Because I want to go back a little bit to where the free agency stuff was being talked about more, because it's interesting and it lets us know how next season will pan out for a lot of teams. So first of all, I want to talk about CJ McCollum, the shooting guard out of Portland, who just inked a new 4-year, $106 million extension. Now that's a crazy extension right there. He's going to be getting over $26.5 million per year. And that's for just a shooting guard who has definitely been very good this past year, but has only showed promise for this 1 year. Promise to be a obviously max deal type player. And it's actually the first major contract for any 2013 draft pick. So you're going to be seeing the next coming weeks, maybe years, you'll be seeing Giannis Antetokounmpo out of Milwaukee, and also Kentavious Caldwell-Pope down in Detroit, Rudy Gobert in Utah. All of them are probably going to get massive extensions as well because they're key pieces to good young teams. Giannis Antetokounmpo has shown a lot of promise being a point forward for the Bucks, while Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has shown a lot of promise on the wings out in Detroit as a defender and an offensive player. And Rudy Gobert has been massive in the paint as a shot blocker and deflector. So you'll be seeing them get big extensions as well probably this offseason. But CJ McCollum was the first one. And it's definitely a huge extension because it means that they're going to be planning to have him and Damian Lillard as the core of their team moving forward. Which, to be honest, I don't really agree with. Both of them want the ball in their hand to shoot it. And both of them are poor defenders and undersized. Now, it's not to knock either one of them. Obviously, you got CJ McCollum, most improved player, and then you have Damian Lillard, who should have been an all-star and was all-NBA. But in all honesty, they're not going to be all defensive ever because neither one can really defend a good shooting guard or point guard due to their lack of size. I mean, Russell Westbrook will destroy Damian Lillard, and then players like Klay Thompson will destroy CJ McCollum due to his lack of size. So you can't really hide either one of their defensive inabilities, and neither one of them can really come off the bench. I mean, you're never going to bench Damian Lillard, and you can't bench CJ McCollum now because he's, first of all, getting paid $26.5 million, and second of all, he's just too good to be on the bench. So I just don't see how that core of both of them won't be just second-round fodder for much better built teams. The only way it's going to really work out for them is if one of their bigs, like Noah Vonleh, Plumlee, one of those, or even Ezeli, really erupts next season and just grows as a good player, especially Ezeli. I mean, he's shown some promise on the Warriors, but you've seen a lot of lack of consistency, especially with his hands, his ability to catch the ball and make offensive moves. So if he can actually develop some offensive rhythm and get rid of the stone hands in general, he might be able to be that key centerpiece for the team as well. They just don't have that interior presence and perimeter defense to really compete deep in the Western Conference, at least in my opinion. So while it's a really good deal, if you look at it just as a player, CJ McCollum, I think for the team in the future, it might not be the best plan. And if they trade him, I wouldn't be too shocked if it doesn't work out after this season or even next season. So that'll be something to keep an eye on for the coming years and seasons. Another player I want to talk about today, Dion Waiters, who got screwed in the offseason. Man, free agency does not suit him. He's 24 years old. He's shown some promise. He's the 4th overall pick in the draft. And he had a qualifying offer from the Oklahoma City Thunder that they rescinded because they needed to create some more cap space, hoping to re-sign Kevin Durant, who no longer with the team. But after he got his qualifying offer, which is basically like a tentative contract number that he could make next year if they agreed to it. Once that was removed from the table, he had to go out in free agency, become an unrestricted agent, and try and find some teams who wanted to pay him. And I guess it didn't go well because, as you know, we had some players like Mozgov getting $16 million a year for 4 years. But he went out there, Dion Waiters, and got a 1-year, $2.9 million deal with the Miami Heat. He also has a $3 million deal, player option for the second year, but I doubt he'll use that. So overall, 2 years, $6 million. Are you serious? Dion Waiters? I mean, he's definitely lacked promise on the court, and he's shown to have pretty low basketball IQ, especially last season. He had a career low in points per game and shot 40% from the floor during the regular season. The Thunder were even better without him on the court, which is obviously a huge hindrance for teams to want to sign him. But in the playoffs, he showed some pretty good sparks, especially in the offensive end. He shot 37% from three. He passed the ball around instead of holding it, dribbling it out, and shooting a shot every time down the court. And on top of that, he played good defense. On bigger players, he played physical, he defended them well on the perimeter, and gave it his all. So, I mean, if I'm watching players like Evan Turner get a $72 million deal, I'm expecting a little more from Dion Waiters. But it looks like no one else could really give it to him. So, he got stuck with the Miami Heat on a very, very small deal in a summer of massive numbers. So, I'm pretty surprised by this because I still think that the potential's there if he can get some more basketball IQ, but he obviously has poor decision making on offense, relying a lot on a mid-range game, and he's pretty bad if he gets lost on defense. But if he's actually dialed in next season, then I expect him to at least try better, especially on the defensive end, because he's a pretty good on-ball defender. And if he keeps his effort all the time, he'll be a good off-ball defender as well, getting in passing lanes. So, I mean, at best, I see him as a good sixth man off the bench, try and be a shooting guard off the bench, get some scoring sparks for the team, especially without Wade now. Overall, though, I'm not seeing the potential there to be a huge contract, but he's definitely worth more than $2.9 million in this summer. I mean, he's basically getting a minimum offer. That's how bad it was. Gerald Green is getting half of what he's getting now. That's sad. And of course, probably going to be sad for that agent too, because he's got to get fired. This dude failed Dion Waiters. There's definitely got to be a team out there that was willing to pay him more than $2.9 million. But there wasn't, so he's stuck in Miami with almost no money compared to what he could have been getting. Moving on from that, also want to talk about Tyronn Lue, who, as you know, is the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, won a championship for Cleveland, first time in over 50 years, and now he's got some serious job security. $35 million deal for the next 5 years. They really treated him well. He made less than that in his entire decade of playing in the NBA. How insane is that? That he's now going to be making more in 5 years as a coach than he ever did as a player in total. Pretty crazy to me. And gotta feel like they're kind of paying out for getting that championship. I mean, he doesn't need to ever win another championship for Cleveland, and they're going to be carrying him on their shoulders for the rest of a century. They couldn't care less because they got that one deal, and that's what they really needed. So it's definitely good for them to know who the coach will be moving forward, even though we've seen them sign big contracts for coaches like Mike Brown before and then fire them anyways. I don't think they're going to do that with Tyronn Lue, especially after winning a championship, but we'll see if he disappoints next year or something like that, and how the Cleveland Cavaliers react as an organization, whether they'll take the time to realize that he did well in his position and won them a championship, or if they'll overreact violently, fire him, and have to pay him for the next 5 years for no reason. But it's definitely good for him, and good for the Cleveland Cavaliers to think that they'll have that coach, hopefully for the next 5 years to build around. Also, the last thing I want to talk about today, Michael Jordan, who obviously, as we know, is mainly considered the best player of all time, the greatest player of all time. But he's retired. He's majority owner of the Charlotte Hornets. We all know this. And he's known to not be very outspoken when it comes to his political views on social issues, on political issues, on economic issues, anything like that. But he just spoke out yesterday on an article he wrote for The Undefeated. He was talking about police violence committed by and upon the police. He actually came out speaking against it, and in his words, because I don't want to mess this up for you guys, he said, "To support the effort to help stop police violence, I am making contributions of $1 million each to 2 organizations, the International Association of Chiefs of Police's newly established Institute for Community Police Relations," which is basically an organization, this is my own words now, dedicated to trying to improve relations between the communities and the police. And he also donated $1 million to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. So he's basically playing on both sides of the issue, hoping to build relationships between the community and the police through the donation to the Community Police Relations Institute, and as well as building a legal defense fund for people who've already been hurt by the police. So I think he's definitely doing the right thing, speaking his mind out and using his platform to say what he thinks is right. And although his donations, as he put it, may not be enough to solve the problem alone, they're also going to help make a positive difference no matter what. He didn't donate it to try and go to an aggressive side on either side of the issue and try and just promote more discouragement and more conflict. He attempted to solve the problem by giving to charities that are actually working to improve the situation, which is very important. And although some people have been going off about it, some people even saying that he didn't give enough, I think $2 million is a good start, especially when he's definitely not been outspoken in the past. So to come out and say what he's doing, say what he is donating, is pretty big. And I think that people should consider that before they start to actually judge how much money he gave. I mean, what are you people doing for the situation yourself? Obviously, he did what he said he was going to do, improve the situation or attempt to. And I give him major props for that. So I'm going to end it on that positive note, and hopefully we can all hope for a better future for everyone. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. I'll definitely have more podcasts coming out in the coming days. And have a great day, everyone.